The cobblestone streets of the Gothic city were cold and unforgiving, much like Elladora's existence. She was a shadow, a whisper, lost within the grandeur of her late father's manor. Her stepmother, a woman with eyes as sharp as ice shards and a heart to match, saw Elladora as an obstacle, a stumbling block in her pursuit of wealth and status. She relegated Elladora to the dusty attic, far from the warmth of the hearth and the laughter that once filled their home. Elladora's stepsisters, Griselda and Belladonna, were as cruel and unyielding as their mother. They delighted in tormenting Elladora, their laughter echoing like the screech of ravens through the musty halls. They ripped her dresses, stole her meager possessions, and whispered venomous lies in her ear, each word a drop of poison seeping into her soul. Elladora found solace only in her memories, clutching them to her heart like dying embers. She remembered her father's warm embrace, the scent of his pipe tobacco, and the gentle lilt of her mother's voice as she sang her lullabies. Her mother, taken too soon by a fever that swept through the city like a plague, had left Elladora with nothing but a single obsidian ring. It was a curious thing, cold to the touch and heavy on her finger, a constant reminder of her loss and the love that had once been hers. The ring was a source of both fear and fascination for Elladora. It was old, ancient even, the obsidian polished to a mirror sheen that reflected her sorrow back at her. Intricate carvings adorned its surface, twisting and turning in an endless dance of arcane symbols. She didn't understand their meaning, but she could feel a power emanating from the ring, a dark energy that hummed beneath her fingertips. Her mother had warned her about the ring, her voice barely a whisper as she lay dying. "It is a gift, my love, but also a burden," she had said, her hand trembling as she slipped the ring onto Elladora's finger. "Use it wisely, my child. It holds the power to both destroy and create. It is a key, Elladora, a key to a world beyond our own." Elladora had treasured the ring, hiding it from her stepmother and stepsisters, instinctively knowing that they would only use its power for evil. She wore it only in the darkness of her attic room, tracing the intricate carvings with her fingers, feeling a strange connection to something vast and unknown. The ring whispered to her, in her dreams, filling her mind with visions of swirling shadows and ancient rituals. She saw glimpses of a world cloaked in darkness where powerful beings commanded the forces of night and magic. These visions both terrified and exhilarated her, filling her with a longing for something more than the suffocating reality of her existence. The city buzzed with anticipation. Word had spread like wildfire through the cobblestone streets and winding alleys. The Duke was hosting a grand masquerade ball. The Duke, a recluse who resided in a crumbling castle overlooking the city, was a figure shrouded in mystery and whispered rumors. Some said he was a scholar, a collector of rare and ancient texts. Others claimed he was a sorcerer, dabbling in forbidden arts, his castle a haven for necromancers and practitioners of the dark arts. The purpose of the ball was a subject of much speculation. It was rumored that the Duke was searching for a bride, a woman of exceptional beauty and grace to share his power and wealth. Young women across the city, their heads filled with dreams of silks and jewels, danced with anticipation. Elladora's stepsisters, their vanity knowing no bounds, were no exception. Their mother, ever eager to secure her daughters' futures, spared no expense in preparing them for the ball. Griselda, tall and slender with hair like spun gold, was adorned in a gown of shimmering emerald silk. Belladonna, dark and smoldering with eyes like polished obsidian, wore a dress of crimson velvet that clung to her curves like a second skin. They preened and they posed, their laughter echoing through the house, each one certain that she would capture the Duke's eye. Section 4. Forbidden Dreams Under a Blood Moon. Elladora watched their preparations from the shadows, her heart a knot of longing and resentment. She yearned to escape the confines of her attic prison, to dance beneath the chandeliers, to feel the eyes of strangers upon her. But she knew it was a foolish dream. Her stepmother would never allow it. To her, Elladora was nothing more than a servant, a drudge to be kept hidden away, a shameful reminder of her late husband's affections. As dusk fell upon the city, casting long shadows across the cobblestones, Elladora retreated to the solace of her attic room. The full moon, an eerie crimson orb in the night sky, bathed the room in an unsettling light. It was a blood moon, a harbinger of change, its crimson light reflecting in the obsidian depths of her mother's ring. The ring thrummed against her skin, its energy pulsing in sync with the moon's eerie glow. A wave of loneliness washed over her, threatening to drown her in its depths. She longed for her mother's touch, her gentle voice, her comforting presence. Closing her eyes, Elladora clutched the ring, letting her tears fall freely. "Mother," she whispered, her voice cracking with unshed grief. "Show me the way. Guide me through this darkness." Section 5. The Cloak of Shadows, Elladora's Escape. The ring responded to her plea with a surge of power that pulsed through her veins like liquid fire. She gasped, her hand flying to her chest as a wave of dizziness threatened to overpower her. When she opened her eyes, her reflection in the dusty windowpane had transformed. Gone was the waifish girl with tangled hair and tear-stained cheeks. In her place stood a vision of ethereal beauty. Her once dull brown hair cascaded down her back in waves of midnight black, shimmering with an otherworldly sheen. Her eyes, once filled with sadness and resignation, now blazed with an inner fire, their color a startling violet that seemed to glow with the same eerie light as the blood moon outside her window. A long, flowing gown of shadows and moonlight materialized around her, its fabric rippling like liquid darkness. It was as if the night itself had woven her a garment fit for a queen. Looking down at her transformed self, Elladora felt a surge of exhilaration mixed with trepidation. This was the power of the ring, the magic that her mother had entrusted to her. She didn't fully understand it, but she knew that it was a gift, a weapon, and a burden all rolled into one. This night, she would use it to claim her freedom, to taste, however fleetingly, the life that had been stolen from her. With newfound confidence, Elladora descended the creaking stairs of the manor, her footsteps silent and sure. She moved through the house like a phantom, a creature of darkness and magic, unseen and unheard by the inhabitants within. Slipping out the back door and into the night, Elladora vanished into the labyrinthine streets of the city, leaving behind the only life she had ever known. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Would you like to see a second part? Let us know in the comments.